There's something about these mountains that keeps pulling me back. It's not just the views or the thrill of the climb, it's what's hidden out here. A quiet kind of mystery, a sense that someone's been here before and left something behind. These old trails used to be lifelines, carved by hand, hammered through granite and snow. What was once survival now becomes adventure. And I want to see what's still out here. What's been forgotten and what's still waiting to be found. This trip isn't about conquering anything, it's about following the path, through the forest, above the tree line, and across the terrain that still tests you. I'm here to chase stories, track down the bones of old towns, and maybe get a little lost in the process. Welcome to Full Send Network. This is a climb into the forgotten high country.
So right now we're rolling up Weston Pass, headed toward Mosquito Pass. Weston Pass should be pretty chill. It's just basically a dirt road. Once we get up to like Mosquito Pass, it should get a little bit more difficult. We are climbing a bit in elevation. We're gonna hit around 13,000 feet, which makes it one of the higher roads in the US, in Colorado, I'm pretty sure. The main reason I chose this route and wanted to explore this area is there's a bunch of mining history tied to the area. Back in the 1800s, there was a big silver boom out here, and there's a big mill up on Mosquito Pass, and then these passes were like a lifeline between the smaller towns and mining communities. So I thought it'd be really cool to just kind of go up here, see what the roads are like, see what the old timers were fighting through, and just do some exploring. So stick around and see what we find. Way up here in these mountain passes, just under 12,000 feet, and it's incredible up here. There's mountain peaks just surrounding you. You can really see the tree line and just meadows. It's awesome. Oh, nice. There's some alpine lakes down there. This is incredible. Okay, so we made it down to the alpine lakes, and it turns out it's an old mining site. According to Onyx, it's called Winnie Mine, but it's pretty cool. There's like buildings all over the place. So there's some up on this hill. There's this one, another house back there. It's really cool. I want to see if I can get to this house, this structure, whatever it is. So we're gonna try it. We're gonna try and go down this way and circle around. So let's see what happens. We are at this building, whatever this is. This is pretty cool. I'm really curious to know what this used to be. Ah, so many bugs. Oh my God. These floorboards are really spongy, which makes sense. It's probably over like 100 years old. This looks like it used to be some kind of oven. There's like a hole in the ceiling for like maybe a stack. I don't know. What's in here? I'm not walking on this or those stairs. They just go up to a loft. I will probably never know what this used to be, but it is pretty cool. Going in there probably wasn't the smartest thing I've ever done. But I don't do many smart things anyway, so par for the course. All right, let's get back across this plank and try not to soak our feet. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, that foot's wet. It's all right, we're good. This trip rocks, but I got wet socks. All right, again, no idea what this was used for. So if you know, comment down below and tell me, because I'm really curious. I would love to know. Okay, so as I was leaving that building, I think I actually figured out what it is. So it has that like bridge that goes up top, and then along the bottom there's a bunch of chutes. So I'm thinking it's some kind of like sorting system or something, so they would wheel in whatever they've got up top, dump it down the chutes, and then it would sift itself out and come out the chutes. I could be entirely wrong, but that's my best guess. So like I said, if you know for sure, drop it in the comments below and tell me I'm dumb, because I have no idea. That's just my best guess. So I found a spot to camp. I didn't film a whole bunch on the way down here because it's getting late and I really just wanted to find a spot to set up. The spot that I thought was a campsite wasn't a campsite, so I had to drive a lot further into Birdseye Gulch, which by the way, screw Birdseye Gulch. Did not like that trail. Send regret, level 8. There was just a lot of sketchy shelf roads and boulder fields I wasn't really ready for. So yeah, just had me stressed. But the awesome thing is Birdseye Gulch is an out and back trail. So that means I get to do it again tomorrow. And I'll be on the downhill side of the shelf roads. So can't wait for that. But for now, I'm just gonna set up camp, try and bring my heart rate down, and maybe make some food. So that's where we're at. Whew. All right, we just packed up camp, fired up the truck, letting it warm up, and we're gonna start heading back Birdseye Gulch. I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna be on the downhill side of the shelf roads this go around. So yeah, it has me a little nervous, but I gotta do it, so let's send it. we're back at Mosquito Pass where it intersects with Birdseye Gulch. Looking up the trail, it looks like there's a decent amount of snow on the trail, but I can't quite tell if it's over or next to the road. So we're gonna drive up there and check it out, but it doesn't look like there's a decent spot to turn around. So it does look like there's a T up there. I might park there and just walk up and check it out. That way I'm not backing down a crazy shelf road, because we all know how I feel about shelf roads. So
by today's standards, Mosquito Pass is narrow, rocky, and steep, but in the late 1800s, it was a lifeline. At over 13,000 feet, it was the highest wagon road in North America, a fragile link between the booming mining towns of Leadville and Fairplay. Miners, freighters, and families braved the thin air, brutal winds, and unpredictable snow just to survive. The road you see now, it was carved by grit, sweat, and ambition. Built by hand, horsepower, and hammer, every sharp corner and collapsed section is just a reminder of how desperate people were to strike it rich. The Mosquito Mountain Range was rich in gold and silver, but extracting it wasn't glamorous. Miners worked long shifts in cold, damp shafts. They battled cave-ins, black lung, and isolation. Every weathered cabin or rusted ore cart tells a story, not just of gold fever, but of perseverance. One of lives risked and lost, of how this brutal, beautiful place shaped the people who dared to call it home. And now, more than a century later, we crawl up the same slope in four-wheel drive, following the tracks of history.
all right, we did it. We made it to the top of Mosquito Pass. So back in 1878, this was the pass that connected Leadville to Fairplay in this direction. And we've got a sign up here telling us we're at 13,185 feet in elevation. So now the plan is to head down the other side of Mosquito Pass, and we're gonna try and find the North London Mill, which I think will be really cool. It looks, I've seen some pictures online, it looks pretty cool. So let's keep rolling. All right, so some bad news. Not far after the top of Mosquito Pass, on the way down towards Fairplay, ran into a bunch of snow. So there's 3 big snow patches that I can see right now, and I scouted a little bit with the drone, and it looks like there's a couple more even further down. So the trail's impassable currently and unfortunately. So we're gonna have to back up this small shelf road here and turn around and go back the way we came, which I'm not super stoked about, but it is what it is. Sometimes that happens. So let's do it.
Some trails don't let you through. The snow hung around late this year, a white line drawn across the ridgeline, and for me, that meant turning back. But up here, above the tree line, there's nowhere to hide. Wind cuts through everything. There's no shelter, no warmth, and no easy choices. In the 1800s, turning around wasn't as simple as throwing it in reverse and backing out. For those travelers, reversing course meant hours, sometimes days of grueling work, broken wagon wheels, tired feet, and air that thinned with every step. I imagine a few choice words were said up here. Probably not too different from what I muttered when I hit the snowbank. The trail echoes those journeys, every rut, every ruin, every piece of someone's gamble. I have the luxury of heading home. They had to keep pushing. Mosquito Pass wasn't ready to let me through this time, and that's okay. This place deserves respect. And besides, the mountain will still be here, waiting. Thanks for tagging along. This is Full Send Network. Catch you in the next one.